I understand what you're saying, and I can appreciate that line of thinking of, oh, just got a knock on the door.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but Arlo pooped and need someone to wipe his butthole.
Wow.
We used to be kids. Now we're not. Something happened in between. This is the Broken Youth Club.
This one might be an episode asterisk, because the whole point of today recording early was we just kind of need to do it, because I need to personally, I feel like even now I'm stumbling over what I'm trying to get to. So I feel like everything I've set up to this point I'm going to cut out. So
You shouldn't.
I'm going to, but I'm going to work my way back around. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. Maybe this
You shouldn't. I think you just leave it in. I think sometimes
I literally
it's
can't
like
think. And an example of that is 2 nights ago, we were watching Harry Potter, and I had the thought of like, man, the sound isn't, it's like subpar tonight. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing and you know me, I'm a sound guy. I'm an audio guy.
And we just set this up down here.
Yeah,
we just bought like sound system,
Yeah.
which we haven't had for years.
And it's a basic one. It was like just a sound bar out of the box from Best Buy, nothing too crazy.
Right.
But still something more than your TV. But I was sitting there and I thought about it, and I went the entire fucking movie, and I didn't even realize until last night that we completely had the sound system off.
Yeah, you forgot to turn it on.
And like, that's how out of my head I've been feeling the last like few weeks to a few months. Like, it's just like been a progressive wind up.
Yeah.
And I truly, I have to apologize. I don't know how good I'm going to be on this one, because I said this week, I feel like if I don't take time to clean the lint and shit out of my ductwork, my furnace is going to blow up.
Yeah.
And I am, just being honest, I'm not in a good spot right now. Just like with everything, just the weight, I think, of everything right now.
Yeah.
And it's getting harder to, it's so many different factors, but they're all starting to weigh rather equally. And I have to figure out what to do about that, because, we've talked about my mental breakdown, like the big one I had in Indiana. We talk about, panic attacks coming on. And on the last episode, I said, I feel like I haven't had one in a while, but like, to be honest, I have been pushing them off more. And the effort of staying on track is getting increasingly cumbersome. And I feel like, as a person who has always lived like creatively, I feel like I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel in like every aspect of my life. Even just thinking just thinking. Like I said last, I had no idea something was completely off. And it's like, normally that's something that would stick out to me like a sore thumb. And it's like, what the hell are we doing? Why wasn't this, I don't know. I know I'm not thinking straight, and I fear another big episode, and I'm scared to put you guys through that again. I'm scared to go through that again myself. But yeah, I'm trying to be optimistic about this winter. I'm not drinking, and we'll get our snow, all Christmas movies, all the things that we normally like to look forward to. I'm going to continue to try to look forward to that shit, but I'm feeling that weight of the world right now. And we were talking about how I haven't like stopped like at all. Sorry. I feel like I've been on this train for so long, and I know I'm only 32, but like again, to keep into perspective, I've had a go, go, go mentality since, my dad bought his business when I was 8 years old. And there's been seasons of like, I work at my dad's a little bit, and then I, go to school and whatnot. But then middle school hits, and I'm trying to basically start a business out of my backpack at school and like make shirts for people and try to grind and hustle. And then college gets here, and I have to think like I got to do something for my life, and I have to do something big. So it was business school, and then it was starting the business that we have in school, and it was grinding through that. And then it's getting what we wanted. We had our house, we were right next to Ollie's school, and we were next to family. We were running out of Halloween candy on Main Street. Like we did it. And I feel like I did that for me, for you, for the kids. And it kills me that I feel like I did it, and now I feel like I'm not doing it anymore. And moving out here, still on the train. And I truly feel like I'm a husk as far as like what I have to like give in this moment. I feel like I've always been the person to just do and give and do my best. And sometimes the world just doesn't care about that, I guess. I don't know. And I'm just tired. I was mentioning today on our little, monthly hangout that we have with the Honors Club, that I truly just feel like I'm in that state where I need to just go. I need to go to like the mountains somewhere and just like take a vow of silence for a year or something. And I feel like I just feel like I yearn for a world that doesn't even exist, and that is depressing for me. And I don't know. Yeah, sorry. I'm just coping with a lot this winter, and I try to put out a positive ethos and attitude, and so that everybody, at least when they look at something I'm doing, something I'm saying, whatever it is, it always comes in the package of wholesomeness or integrity. Like people can look at what I have to put out and understand that is solid. And I feel like I'm to a point personally where I don't even know what that is for me. And I'm just tired, man. And how long can you keep your foot on the gas of a car that you're not putting gas into, or you're not changing the oil?
Mm-hmm.
How far can I really go? And I'm figuring that out. So yeah, I don't want to be hey buddy, like we're all locking it down, going through some stuff, but we're all good, happy smiles. And I think this episode, I don't know if we're gonna get to an hour. I don't know what else. I feel like I need to nap. I feel like I need to just sit on the edge of the cliffs in Scotland overlooking the water. I just rescue me.
Yeah, it's really hard. We talked about this a little bit at the hangout too, but you I feel like you come from a place where you feel like you have to like prove something. You have to like amount to so much to be like a worthy person or to have value. And when we had Oliver and it became a thing where all of the financial responsibility fell on you because we decided I was going to stay home and that's what made sense. And I think that we knew that was going to be heavy, but we also just kind of hoped that it would work, right? And that I could be supportive when I needed to be supportive, as far as like a worker for you. I mean, there were so many times when Ollie was a baby that I would strap them on my chest and come in and print t-shirts with you because I didn't want you to be alone. I mean, but you have had to grind so hard for so long. And then it felt like when we made the move to come out here, it felt like that was like we did it, right? Like we had built this business. We made this connection with somebody. We had proved ourselves. We move out here and then it was going to be easier. It was going to be like, okay, now you're like on someone's payroll and you're like making money. And we don't have to question if you're going to have enough to pay the bills and all of that. But I think that comes with challenges too, that we hadn't experienced because you hadn't ever worked for anybody outside of your dad. And I think again, that kind of like financial weight on top of living out here and not having family. So you talked about like the isolation factor and working in an office where it's a small amount of people. It's like whenever we want to take vacations or anything, which we typically don't do very often, there's a lot of prep that has to go into it. And then typically, even while we're on the trip, there's still things that you need to be checking in on or things you need to be doing. Yeah. And so, I mean, you haven't had like a hard, even just like a hard week off where you didn't have to worry about anything at all since literally college, since it way back in a time when we weren't financially dependent on you and we didn't have kids to feed or houses to pay for. We had rent and you could just like work for your dad and we knew you were fine. Like, but when we had the business, anybody that's a business owner knows there is no fucking time off ever. You're always worried. You're always thinking about it. You're always needing to be available for client calls or whatever. And then working with a small staff, you're kind of also like, there's just like a lot of responsibility on you. So there's a lot of people, it's a small staff. So there's not a lot of people relying on you, but there's a lot of people that are consuming the thing you work for that are relying on you to show up. And I think that for me, I think you so desperately need like a hard week or two off where you genuinely, like you can just do the things you love that you do right now in such small increments because you don't have a lot of available time. But if you could have a hard 2 weeks to like play the drums when you want to or paint, like you just set up the spot upstairs for you to paint so that you can paint and still be in the room with us because you don't get to have a lot of time with us. And we were talking in the hangout about how like right now the way that your work schedule lines up, by the time you get home, you have like maybe an hour and a half before Ollie goes to bed, and it's dark, you know, so it's also like the amount of things we can even do is pretty slim. And in that hour and a half we have to like make dinner and eat dinner and do the pre-bedtime routine stuff. So it's like, I think that, I mean, what you've communicated to me is just this feeling of like, you're not able to be present in the small amount of time that you have with us.
Yeah.
And that's just getting harder and harder to, you know, look forward to the weekend for, because that's not enough time. The weekends fly, right? It's never
always
and sometimes depending on what our mindset is, it's like you get home on Friday and it feels like we're almost like, okay, well, we only have 2 days. So what can we do? And then you're thinking about Monday before you even get started with the weekend. So
the decompression period almost butts up to the prep period.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do think that like, you know, we typically record this podcast on Saturdays on the weekend because during the week you're just fried when you get home. So there's no real like headspace. We tried to do it a couple of times, even on a Friday, and it was like you were so tapped out.
Saturdays we record, and then it's usually late at night, and then 11 midnight I'll edit it. Excuse me. Then so that way it's like bouncing the file while we're sleeping. And then on Sunday, that's when I can get it uploading to YouTube, make a couple social clips for the week, and try to like preload my stuff as much as I can.
Yeah.
But then now I have to do all that like after this today, because
it feels
yesterday I thought about it real hard.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to give myself the grace to like, I knew I wouldn't be in a headspace to talk today.
Yeah.
But I definitely just wasn't yesterday.
Yeah.
And I elected to, which thankfully you were on board for, to just go get some movie snacks. And we watched a few things actually.
Yeah, we watched a movie, and then you watched something. You watched a documentary while I took a shower.
Yeah, we watched, it was Annabelle Creation.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to watch that whole universe like in chronological order.
Yeah, which we just like literally keep fucking up.
I think you messed that up. And then Ollie messed it up.
We've watched like 4 of the movies and they're all out of order.
Whatever.
But
Yeah.
we'll
And
get
then
there.
I watched that Love Has Won. You went up to shower and I watched that new
Harry Potter
documentary about Daniel Radcliffe's stuntman.
Yeah.
Which is called A Boy Who Lived, or The Boy Who Lives. David Holmes, or I think it's his name, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Heart-wrenching, incredibly sad, but I remember when it happened, but also like it was kind of hush-hush. Like it wasn't a huge thing, but yeah, look into it. Harry Potter's stuntman for all 7 films basically got hurt at the end, and I don't want to give it away, but yeah, it's his journey of dealing with that.
Yeah.
Essentially. And it has,
it's on HBO. Yeah. But yes, we watched that. You watched that while I took a shower and blow dried my hair and pretended to not be a mom for a few minutes. I started watching Vanderpump Rules, which isn't something I'm like proud of, but it's
I
just
literally
like,
looked at, it was on the keep watching list, and I was like, there's no way.
Yeah, it's like The Hills. It's like those silly LA reality TV shows, whatever. But anyway, I just like it for background stuff. Okay, leave me alone. But I watched some of that while you finished the documentary, and then we watched that one episode of Love Has Won, which is like crazy. That shit was wild. And then I think you fell asleep while I was watching the Twin Flame one. Yeah. Which I also thought was really wild. And I was nervous to watch that because I thought, like, is this going to piss me off? Like, because it feels like these people made millions and millions and millions of dollars by like being kind of gross and manipulative. And like, you didn't get as far as I did, but some of the shit that happens in that second episode, not it. I don't love it. I don't love it. I'm curious to see if the series gets into like more of the relationship between the people that started it. Because I don't know. There's just something, I don't like it. I don't like it. And I think that too sometimes, and this might be just like gross or weird of me or whatever, but I look at you and I'm like, we've been together a long time and we've gone through like a lot of shit. And you and I both still can kind of openly say like, hey, love you, happy I'm with you, happy you're with me. But like, I think if you wouldn't have chosen me and I wouldn't have chosen you, we would have found other people to be happy with too. Yeah, I think we've talked about this before. I don't think either one of us subscribe to the traditional sense of a soulmate necessarily. You're like your true one and only twin flame for one person in the billions of people. No, I think I'm very much on the team of there are a whole array of factors and you want to try to find someone where a lot of those line up. Yeah. Not all of them. Yeah. But if you can find that and then you find this threshold of how much you're willing to put into a relationship with someone, regardless of who that is. Right. And as long as you both are agreeing to the same terms, hopefully that is a foundation for a healthy relationship. Because like you and I, there's things we don't line up. I don't even know if there's a person on earth where if everything lined up with me, technically, they love Toto, they love music and audio engineering and the stuff I like. You can't tell me that would be
100% grounds for a perfect relationship.
I feel like I just said that to you in the car the other day because you started spouting off some fact about some guitarist or something.
Oh, I was talking about Eddie Van Halen and like his whole series of like Frankensteining his guitar together and how he is.
Yeah.
No, you brought it up, so now I have to say it
okay.
about how Eddie Van Halen was like a tinkerer, and so he would do these mad science experiments, like literally picking out his pickups in his guitar, dipping them in boiling wax water on his stove in his kitchen, doing things that other guitar makers like Fender and that they didn't even know how to solve solutions. So it was just an appreciation for not only is this dude arguably the greatest, most technically proficient guitarist in the world to date. I mean, Steve Lukather, Toto, sorry. But he's also one of the top industry, what's the word? Like he pushing boundaries in what was possible with guitar making, guitar sounds, and the stuff he did in his house is stuff that guitar makers have adopted and now still do today to get good classic signature sounds. So anyway, that was essentially what I was doing to you.
So you brought that up and I listened to you in the car. And I didn't act like an ass because I'm not.
Sure. Just like you just now did. And I forced everyone else to.
But I had the thought and I said it out loud to you after. I was like, I wonder if you would have been happier with someone that really wants to talk to you about this stuff. Because I think there are some things that you are genuinely really passionate about that are either just like over my head, like when you talk about the dimensions or outer space or things like that. Okay, well, those things are like above my head, right? Like it's just, I can't even put brain power to that. Like I don't know what you're saying. I genuinely cannot for the life of me figure out how like a fucking cell phone works. Like I'm just not the person to talk to about it.
Yeah.
And then whenever you want to talk about music, it's like, it's just not a thing I'm like passionate about, right? Like it's just not.
Sure.
And so sometimes I wonder like if you would have been happier if you would have found somebody that had at least even just some of these similarities to you. Because I feel like I could almost list off more things that you're interested in that I'm not than I could things that we mutually love.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I feel bad. Well, because I know you want to talk to somebody about it. And
I think where I got lucky though is I think the pillar, like the keystones of what we both enjoy and like our philosophies on things, I think it's literally like 95% of the like how we want to raise our kids, the language that we use, a lot of like the content we consume, like movies and stuff like that. A lot of that does overlap, but I don't know. I understand what you're saying, and I can appreciate that line of thinking of, oh, just got a knock on the door.
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, but Arlo pooped and needs someone to wipe his butthole.
Wow. Okay,
so we're back, and my dumbass turned we've literally been sitting here talking into mics that weren't receiving anything. So
yeah,
we're going to try to touch base on a couple of these things again, I think.
Yeah, so we got interrupted because Arlo needed somebody to help him in the bathroom, which I'm just ready to be out of that phase of our life. Yeah. But we've still got one more in diapers that we'll have to get through the bathroom stuff. But yeah, we were talking about you being with somebody that had more in common with you, like more of your common interests, because I don't feel like I necessarily have a lot of them with you.
Yeah. And I had said that it's going to feel weird because we just talked about this, but it was also important stuff. Yeah, no, I think it's important sometimes to just have someone who will listen to you and not necessarily have to give you anything back.
Yeah.
Just a passive listener. Now, don't completely blank out. That I think could be rude, of course, but
yeah. Well, I think that, I mean, I can be a lot of things, but I'm not a jerk. I'm not somebody that will just like obviously blatantly just be like, oh my God, hurry up, you know, but yeah, I do feel bad whenever it feels like you just need somebody to kind of like nerd out with you for a minute. And I just like have nothing to contribute to that conversation. But then other times when I think you probably need to just be able to like vent to me, I like can't keep my mouth shut. And I know that some people are really great about doing that. And my sister is really good at doing that, where it's like, hey, do you need me to have a conversation with you about it? Or do you just need me to sit here and listen? Or do you need me to talk you off the ledge? You know, what do you need from me before we get rolling? And I'll let her know. And then she is really good about following that. My friend Sarah will call me sometimes, and I know she's like probably realistically just needing somebody to either talk her off the ledge or just listen. And I instead go to a place of like being really defensive because I love her and I don't want anybody to be mean to her or make her feel any type of way. And I just think I'm like really good at remembering the things that people do to my friends or my family or people that I really love.
It's so funny. I'm the opposite.
So you are. And it's
I
like,
will forget like within 6 months.
Yeah.
If someone like,
which can be like a little infuriating to me because I'm like, no, but I'm still
trauma response.
I'm still mad at that. And why aren't you mad at that anymore?
I can't remember it. I don't remember.
I fucking wish I didn't remember it. This shit's still haunting me.
But yeah, you mentioned Sarah, and I remembered giving her the compliment. So I have to give her the compliment.
Yes, do it again.
About how the other day I mentioned to you that I felt like I needed Sarah's like calming energy that she always has, because growing up she's the type of person who will come over, bake cookies, and stay up with you and watch movies and just make every moment about feeling better and good, like pushing off in a sense, like it's escapism, just like, you know, okay, the real world will be there tomorrow.
Right.
And we can take tonight to just be humans together. And I do appreciate that about Sarah.
There are so many times where I wish that she was closer or that I was closer to her whenever I can tell that both of us just need the other to come over. And literally like, dude, let's make some like puppy chow and then just like sit and gab, but like not about the stuff that's really bothering you unless you want to talk about that. And I think sometimes that's where like you and I will also have different styles of like comfort, and they don't always mesh, and I feel bad. Because like for you, when you're feeling really overwhelmed, it's like you want to like put on a movie. That's like a comfort thing for you, is to like get comfy cozy. Let's watch a movie together. Because
that's what I did. You know, I think we talked about it before. Is like putting on like School of Rock or Harry Potter when I went to sleep, is because that is a consistent thing that my brain can go, I know exactly what's going to happen in this scene.
Yeah.
I know it's all predictable, and it feels good to go to sleep this way. And I think, at the end of the day, it's literally, you ask me 99 times out of 100, do you want to watch a movie tonight? I'm going to say, absolutely.
Right. And I think for me, my style of comfort when I'm feeling really overwhelmed or really anxious is to like do things to take my mind off of it. So when you want to lay down and watch a movie, if I'm feeling anxious, I'm going to lay there with you because I want to be comfort to you. But I'm just like thinking in my head the whole time, you know, I'm not even paying attention to this movie. And then sometimes I'll get my phone out and you're like, why do you have your phone out? For me, it's literally, I'm trying to stop thinking about what I'm thinking, and the movie's not doing it for me.
To be fair, on that note, many times often too, I'm also not paying attention to the movie because I can't. And it would probably be better for me to just do something to get my mind off of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've just been trained to feel like, but at least it's this, and like this is comfort. Like I can't deviate because the repetition of doing this is the comfort enough. I don't know.
Yeah, but like for me, I really like to do things that are like just silly, mindless, or like, okay, either silly, mindless on the aspect of like the diamond art stuff that for me, it's like I can put on fucking Vanderpump Rules and I can do this, and I'm listening to that, and it's so much like hand-eye coordination that it just takes everything else off of my brain.
Yeah.
Or like I love when my sister comes to visit and her and I will stay up late playing Rummy Cube over and over again. It's not like I fucking love Rummy Cube that much, but it's a game that takes enough brain power, and it's slow paced, but it's not too slow paced. Like sometimes Scrabble, I'm like, if you don't got a word, then move on, you know? But it's like, it's just a thing that can take my mind off of it. And with Sarah, she's someone that is great to come over and just like, yeah, dude, let's like make something yummy and then just like sit and chat. And it's just like, or Sarah's like a total crafty little thing, you know, like can sit and craft something, or we can paint, or we can talk about whatever we want to talk about. At this point, we have 20 years plus of friendship that we can recall back on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about how old I am. I heard when I was
34, 39,
10.
40?
Shut up.
67.
We've been friends for almost 25 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. And I think that's one of those things I really miss. Sometimes when I think about if I could live anywhere, like truly, 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 if I could live anywhere and have any one of my people really close.
Yeah.
As much as I love my sister,
I
think I would choose to live really close to Sarah, because she is so like down all the time. Yeah. And my sister is like somebody that, you know, if she has to get up to go to work, she'll like want to go to bed at a normal time. Sarah will stay up until 2 hours before she got to be there. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't.
There are so many times
where we have hung out, and because she had the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And she would have to go in and open it up like really early.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, it's 5 o'clock. When you got to be there again?
She's like, yeah, doors open at 6:30. I'm like, bitch, when? Now? But she's just one of those people that like, she is just really good at just being really comforting. And I hope that like she feels like I'm reciprocating in that. But I know that she has a kid that we all love and has been part of our family for a long time. But it's like it's different when you have littles, right? And her kiddo is 3 months older than our oldest. So she hasn't had to deal with like the chaos of little bitties. So I know I'm not there for her as much as I would like to be. I think that she definitely shows up for me more than I can sometimes, but hope she knows like how much I do appreciate and like desperately need that energy from her sometimes. Mm-hmm. So it made me really feel some type of way when you said it the other night, because I was like, ugh, that would make her feel so good to hear you say that, but also like fucking same, you know?
Yeah.
Like
nice if you could bottle it and...
Like if she didn't share custody with her kid, I would legitimately be like, girl, just come like move into the house with us. Like we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. Okay. Cause she is just like a, solid person to have around. But yeah. So, I think before we close out, it's going to be a short episode. We're just both kind of fucking feeling it.
We asked, I do remember we were asking them. Well, did we mention the Christmas tree?
Oh, no. So this will be like the last episode with the fall decor. And then we'll take the time during the little Thanksgiving break to redo the set for Christmas. We got our first little dusting of snow this morning. So that has definitely kicked it into gear for us that it is Christmas time, baby. Yeah. So we'll do all of that. We'll put the tree up, but it will stay empty. We did receive our first handful of ornaments in the P.O. box the other day, which was super exciting. I'm like, I want to open it so bad, but I know that we said we wouldn't until we did it on the live. So that'll be December 3rd. So when this episode comes out, if you haven't started making something, if you wanted to make something, if you wanted to send something in, I would just try to get those in, by the end of the month, so they can get here by the 3rd when we do that live. My hope is that will just be a really chill experience. We'll just have some Christmas music going, and we'll make some hot chocolate for us.
Yep.
And we'll encourage everybody else that's tuning in to also be doing those things if they would like.
Yeah, do along with us or just watch or whatever.
Yeah.
The P.O. Box is
P.O. Box 115, Spokane Valley, Washington, 99037.
cool.
And then, yeah, there's a part of me that's like, dude, I know that like we are going through it right now. You are going through it right now. But there is a part of me that is just so ready for like I just look at Christmas time as such like a warm space. And we've been like doing things this year that we haven't done in the past, where we bought some of the like twinkling rainbow lights, and we are like hanging those up in a similar way that they were hung up at our houses when we were young, where they're just like strung over the door frames, or I'm going to tack them up under the counter. Like,
Yeah, we'd mentioned in our monthly hang that for a long time, you and I leaned into the sophisticated Christmas. It's like
sophisticated in the way of like we
the
didn't
knitted balls and like
Yeah.
everything had its place and was like almost like you would see it in a magazine. And
Yeah, we had like a color scheme and stuff, but now we really just kind of want to lean back into like, no, dude, this is fun and it's supposed to be a little chaotic. And I want the kids to make a bunch of ornaments for us this year. And Ollie and I spent the movie night a couple nights ago making like a giant paper chain, and we're going to figure out where that can go around the house. Like, I want people to walk in and it look like kids decorated our place, because they did.
Because to be honest, is like someone who is very particular about the way things look, branding and yada yada.
Yeah.
For a long time, it's like when I had my own Christmas tree for the first time, it's like every single ornament, every ball, every hangy thing is going to have its exact place.
Yeah.
Do not touch it.
Yeah.
And I very much like in those first years was like I would get actually upset.
Yeah.
Like when the kids would like pull the bottom third off the tree, and it's like I can't do that.
Yeah.
I really can't do that. That's the whole like I have to put myself in a kid's frame of mind to know that like that's fun. That's what you do with those.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think like we're for at least the next year we're gonna have maybe next year Simon won't, but maybe he'll be out of that phase of like grabbing shit off the tree, but still like, or like when the kids decorate it, how it's like really bottom heavy.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that's like maybe I do want that, because I forget who I was having a conversation with the other day where it was like, maybe we were having it here where we're talking about the just messes in general with kids. And for a long time, it's like, it's so infuriating when you're stepping over crumbs or Legos or whatever. But when they're sleeping and they're sweet and you have those moments of silence and clarity, at least I have these moments of, excuse me, one day there won't be Legos here. There won't be crumbs.
Yeah.
The tree will be the way I left it, and there will be a part of me that will want someone to come fuck this up for me.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least can bring grandkids over so they can fuck it up for
No, we'll be calling our kids when they're in their 20s and just say, hey, just come over and fuck it up for a minute. Okay. We'll pull your old toy bins out from the basement and just throw them all over the house for us real quick.
Yeah. I feel like I'm reaching a point in my life, which is arguably at a near third point if I'm lucky. The experiences I get to have with you and the kids and the people I love, they become increasingly more important to me. And I'm trying my best in my day-to-day life and, the chapters of like this winter and then next spring, trying to look at these segments of my life to really focus on the tiny things and give those more appreciation. And I suck at it sometimes, but it's like I am reaching a point where I am thinking about that stuff way more often.
Yeah. Yeah. Oliver's 9. So we don't know how many,
Almost 10.
almost 10 in January. We don't know how many more years we're going to have of Oliver even like wanting to do these things with us. But like Ollie mentioned the other day that they felt like we did do a lot of our family time revolves around like picking a movie and getting good snacks and doing that. But like Oliver also would maybe like to do more crafts with us or do something else. I mean, we've strayed away from playing board games because the littles just kind of like ruin it, which sucks. Because we do have a lot of board games and really do genuinely love board games. But we could do plenty of crafts. You know, there's plenty of things that we could do that I think we just didn't realize that Ollie wanted to do them that bad with us. Yeah. Which, you know, I could mom guilt myself into the fucking ground with that. Like, why wouldn't I have thought that Ollie would want to do that with us? Or like, why didn't I ask Oliver? Why didn't I lead the hunt on that? But we heard Oliver say it, and we have a bunch of crafts. So I think even like, it's so funny. A side note, when we bought this house in March, it has a double oven that is like built into the, you know, it's like one of the wall ovens.
It's an old Whirlpool.
And it's a Whirlpool from like it original to the house, so like 70s. And the guy told us when we moved in, like, hey, this doesn't work. When I had somebody come out and look at it, they said it would be more expensive to fix it than to just replace it. But I don't care. I just use a toaster oven. So I'm like, cool. So we've been using toaster ovens for like 6 months because I did not want to have to, like, we put everything that we had into buying the house, right? We didn't have the money to go fucking buy a whole nother, and it's like smaller. So we can't just go get one from the store. We'd have to order it because it's a smaller double oven, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, I finally was like, I'm just going to see what it costs. I make the call. It takes 3 weeks to even get somebody to come out because it can't just be a normal person. It's got to be somebody that also knows how to work with these older units. This guy comes out, fixes both of them, only charges me $218 to do it. So shame on me. If anybody else is putting off some shit like that, maybe just make the call because maybe it won't be that bad. But I say all of that to bring it back around to the crafts because I bought Shrinky Dinks forever ago. And I have not done a Shrinky Dink since I was with my good friend Sarah. So in the spirit of her, in the spirit of our oven working, and in the spirit of Oliver wanting to do crafts with us, I think we should make some Shrinky Dinks for the Christmas tree. Okay. So I know it's a shorter episode, but
before we get out of here, the last thing before I so idiotically turned everything off, I was talking about some comfort shows because that's what I'm going to be looking into. Because I texted you
today.
It was today. Yeah.
It was today.
I almost said yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, it felt more recent than that.
Yeah.
Where I was watching like just a reel on TV, like a promo for, was it Paramount or something like that?
Yeah.
And Survivor was one of the clips.
Yep.
And it was like, as soon as I saw that, I just had this flood of like, that's it. I'm going to text Kate right now. And I was like, I think I know what I need. I need to go into a Survivor hole with you.
Yep.
Just like we used to.
Let me get those buffs, baby. I'm so ready. I love Survivor. It's a show I have watched every season numerous times at this point. It's like it is the comfort show for me, probably.
Yeah.
That and the challenge. I will rewatch challenge seasons over and over and over again. I don't fucking care. I also like annually will watch Jersey Shore, which you have no interest in, but there is something about it for me. I don't need you to. That's fine. You watch it back and you're actually like, oh my God, I can't believe that people could like say this shit about women. And it was like a funny haha at the time. Also, but there's something about it.
Just like they're
okay. They're a bunch of like drunken fools. Okay, it's fine. But there is something about it where I watch it and I'm like, look at these fucking early 20 somethings, and this was literally their life, and like how carefree for them to like. The only drama you have is like who's sleeping with who. Like I fucking love to watch it. Okay. I do. It puts me in this place of like, oh, look at how silly this is versus all of the very real, scary, hard shit that we deal with.
That's why you love Flavor Flav, Bret Michaels.
Yeah, dude. I watched all of those dating shows, like Flavor of Love, Rock of Love. Yeah. Like, dude, I loved all of that stuff. But yeah, family comfort shows that we watch a lot. Boy Meets World, we do. I feel like every year we restart Boy Meets World. We don't always get all the way through it, but we definitely always start it. We watch Home Improvement a lot. I literally just the other day, I tried to watch Frasier because I knew that they had done the reboot. But like Frasier was one of those things where it was like, sometimes we watch it if it hit right at dinner, but it was more of like a dinner time show that the parents were good with.
Same. It was like my dad watched it occasionally.
So I don't really know that I'll stick with that.
I'm pretty sure he named his dog after the dog on Frasier, Eddie.
Oh, that's funny.
Because he was also Jack Russell.
Yeah. But, and then, I mentioned briefly earlier that I just started watching Vanderpump Rules, and it's not a show I'm proud of to watch. Okay. It's like The Hills or any of those silly shows where everyone on the show is just like fucking rich and doesn't has like silly problems to me, but you know, whatever. Yeah. Let me know who is fucking whose boyfriend. I don't, like it's just like a bullshit show to put on, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's not taking any real brain power for me. Yeah. So it's easy to have it on, and I have never watched it, so thought it would just be something different. But yeah, I'm trying to think about other like comfort shows for you. I feel like you get in like Hey Arnold kicks sometimes where it's like,
I'll do Hey Arnold.
But like specifically like Saturday morning is when you would want to watch Hey Arnold. It's not a show you want to watch like during the day or at night.
Or Doug or it's classic. I feel like a consistent show would be The Office or Parks and Rec, like on repeat for years.
Yeah.
Or South Park, but more probably the other two.
Yeah.
And then I did mention, because in the one of the previous episodes where we talked about the commercials and like nostalgia TV, someone had mentioned for them it was Big Bang, which obviously isn't a deep cut or thatness. Well, I guess at this point it could be pretty nostalgic.
Yeah.
But for me, I had the period where it was like right after Gibson died. You had left for Northern Indiana, so I was like alone. And I torrented some seasons of Big Bang off of it wasn't Pirate Bay, but it was one of the other ones.
Yeah.
And I just remember folding my laptop on its side, and like, if you put it like at a 90-degree angle, it'll sit on its side on the bed.
Yeah.
So I can lay down and watch it at the proper angle. But yeah, there were so many days of school I completely bailed on.
Yeah.
So that I could just stay in bed and watch Big Bang Theory and not be, and be sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So yeah, I'm looking for shows that make you feel good, not necessarily.
Not the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Fuck the Big Bang. I actually do.
It's actually a really lovely show. It's fine.
Chuck Lorre, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are some shows that have like a big catalog that we could be like, this winter we're doing all of the, not necessarily that we will, but it's nice to know that you can start something and rely on it being there for a good chunk of time.
Yeah. Something like Supernatural.
Supernatural, yeah.
But we do watch Supernatural, so not that, but something else.
Yeah, Ollie's been getting
something
into
long
that.
like that.
Yeah, I always liked that show.
So yeah. But yeah, I think we're just gonna have to wrap it up there.
Yeah, this is good. This is longer than I thought we were gonna do, if I'm being honest. So.
Yeah. We appreciate you hanging with us on this one. If you knew the bullshit that we started with, like fucking we can't have our inners in because there's some echo going on and we can't get the computer to update, and then we had to stop because my kid crapped, and then we started back up and recorded for 20 minutes and then realized the audio wasn't recorded. Like, it's time to just go upstairs and make some dinner and enjoy what's left of Sunday, and then thankfully short work week, and then
I'm gonna check out for a
feast
few days.
time,
Yeah.
baby. So
Pig out and check out.
yeah. So yeah, if you would like to send in an ornament for the tree, again, we're going to do that December 3rd, P.O. Box 115, Spokane Valley, Washington, 99037. It can be something you've made, something you saw while you were out and thought it was funny. We appreciate anything that y'all want to send in for that. I'm so excited to open up the ones that we've gotten so far.
Yeah, me too.
If you have a story you'd like to submit, you can do that at mylife@brokennewthclub.com. If you prefer to call rather than send in that email, we have the hotline that will be at the end of the video. And then also, if you haven't joined the Facebook group, you can do that. That's just Broken Youth Club on Facebook. Everybody in there is so great. It's such a fun little community. And then if you are interested in any bonus content or anything like that, we're going to record the bonus episode for this month next weekend. So you've got some time to sign up and get that if you would like. But otherwise, I think that's it.
Yep.
So
have a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. We are going to be putting out a thing. We'll do it here too, I guess. But we do think our next episode, we would like to do a lunch table talk on Thanksgiving specifically. If you have any funny stories or family traditions or just like, of course, type shit, my family, we got some stuff to talk about. But if you have anything like that you want to write in about, we'll make a post in the Facebook group that you could comment on. You're always welcome to shoot us a message on Instagram. We are bad about seeing messages on Facebook, so just don't, just don't. But, or you can send them in to the email. So up to you. And then we can chat through those and try to get some laughs in for the next episode.
Let's lighten it up a little bit.
My God. So, okay. But cool. Well, see you next time, okay? Love you. Bye.
Bye.